Today we're going to continue our work thinking about the First World War. Our focus this week will be all about the role of women within the First World War. So why were women so important? Well, due to the fact that many men were away fighting in the war, there were lots of jobs that men had left behind which still needed to be done. Look at these posters from World War One. Which jobs do you think the women may have needed to take over? You're right. One very important job which women needed to take over was the farming, especially considering there was such a big shortage of food. In addition to this, there were jobs to help the war effort, such as making ammunition like bombs and missiles. Women took on these jobs too. In fact, women took on quite a few roles during World War One. They became engineers, spies, railway guards, police, nurses, postal workers, making ammunitions in the ammunition factories, firefighters, ticket collectors, farmers, bank clerks, and they would run trams and be tram conductors too. There were lots of jobs for women during the war. It's important to remember that whilst men were away and women had to work, they were also running the household and caring for the rest of the family. Here are just some of the household jobs that they also had to keep up with: mending and sewing the clothes, cooking the meals, looking after the children, queuing for rations, writing letters to their families who were fighting in the war, putting up blackout curtains when there was a raid, gardening the home for homegrown food, and let's not forget keeping up local traditions to make sure that everyone's morale was boosted. It's safe to say women had a busy time during World War One. You may have heard of the land girls. Land girls was the name given to the women who worked on farms and on the land. They were part of the Women's Land Army. These roles were essential to make sure that there was enough food for everyone. By the end of 1917, there were 23,000 women working in the Women's Land Army. In addition, there were over 250,000 female farm labourers. A lot of women took on the role of a nurse. This was a crucial role during World War One. Women were not allowed to fight on the front line in the First World War. However, they were often very close to the front line, nursing injured or dying soldiers. There were not enough trained nurses when the war began, so many women volunteered as part of the Voluntary Aid Detachment, the VAD. You may have also heard of a group of women called the Canary Girls. During the war, there was a huge demand for ammunition, including bombs, missiles, and bullets. The work was dangerous because women worked with toxic chemicals on a daily basis. One chemical, TNT, was used in bombs, and working with this turned your skin yellow. This is how they earned their nickname, the Canary Girls, because they looked like the yellow bird, a canary. The women also experienced other side effects, including sickness, chest pains, and skin sores. Because of this, they needed to have regular checkups with the doctor. All work and no play makes for a dull day. It wasn't all just work during the war. With men away at war, women were also encouraged to take part in things they had never usually done before. One of these things included football. Many female factory workers formed teams, and thousands attended the matches. One of the most famous teams were Blythe Spartans, who never lost a game. Their star player, Bella Ray, scored 133 goals. However, after the war in 1921, the FA banned women from playing football, and some never played again. At the end of the war, many men returned home. Think about how men and women would feel about their jobs at this point. Would all of the jobs still be needed? What would men do when they returned home? How had these jobs changed the role of women? What would women think about men coming home? What would men think about coming home? Share your ideas with a friend or a family member. Remember, it's okay if you have a different idea to somebody else, but see if you can explain your answer.